E3 is called the equip phase, and you might be wondering, tell me about equip. What does this mean? Well, equip is preparing the trademark application properly. And why do I call it the equip phase? Well, I like hiking, and I love going on long hikes. Years ago, I went on a hike on the Inca Trail. And even though we had Sherpas, pretty much what you put in your backpack on day one is what you are hiking out with on day seven. It's similar to a trademark application because what you put in the application lives with you throughout the application process. You can't go back to the beginning and put something new in it without filing a new trademark application. You can't make an adjustment or an amendment to what you have in your trademark application unless you go back to the beginning sometimes. So I call it the equip phase to really put the fine point on what you put in the application matters. It's what you're going to live with, especially during examination, and especially if there's something called an opposition proceeding. Something else to be aware of when it comes to trademark applications is that because what you put in the application cements the specifics of that application to your ultimate registration, it's interesting to me that some businesses, particularly those with big budgets, will file a great number of applications on their specific branding. So look at eBay, for example. Easy words, right? eBay. You might be surprised to learn that eBay has something like 30 trademark registrations on variations of the word eBay in all kinds of fonts, using all kinds of color schemes and logos. And the reason they have so many different variations is because they want to, in a sense, go on a lot of hiking trips, but each one is different and each one protects their brand in a specific context. Another advantage of this strategy is that when eBay discovers someone infringing their mark, if anybody's foolish enough to do so, they will be able to present a court a case of what we call specific infringement, which means it will be much easier for them to prove a likelihood of consumer confusion. And that makes it easier for them to win the case. So when you're applying for your mark, keep in mind that you may want to apply and, in a sense, go on a hike with multiple backpacks. So you may want to apply for multiple marks so that you can have different ways of characterizing your branding for greater protection. Your typical business that's a startup, or if you're tight on capital as a small business right now, that kind of strategy is advanced and expensive. So don't feel like you are compelled to do that today. But be aware that it's available when you need that tool set.